Hello everybody. Today I'm going to take you on a tour inside Chateau Clerbaud. You will see some parts that are very close to being completed, some that have not even been started, and quite a few that are still building sites. It's quite a long tour, so we're going to split this into two separate videos. Part one will be the ground floor. Now we're not renovating one room at a time from start to finish. We are working to get 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms completed. And we work in set stages throughout these rooms. So we do all of the ripping out in all the areas, we do all the messy and time-consuming work, and then we start doing all of the repairs to all of the rooms, which is also quite time-consuming. Then we start putting the electrics and the plumbing into all of the rooms before finally being able to get to a point where we can start decorating. So you're going to see rooms in all states of progress. And I hope that you enjoy looking around the chateau. So shall we go? Let's go.
We'll enter the chateau via the west wing. The red arrow marks our entrance. This room will be a double bedroom. The wall to the right will be plastered and it will contain the sockets and light switches. The remaining 3 walls will be pointed stone. The small window that you can see was originally a cupboard. We've made it into a window to bring more light into the room. The oak beamed ceiling will be retained and renovated. The doorway that we are about to go through was originally a cupboard.
Opening this cupboard up into a door was quite a major job. We decided to put in some more substantial oak beams. This involved supporting the stone wall above the opening. The room that we are now entering will be the ensuite bathroom. Originally, it was a standalone room, accessible only from outside the chateau. It would have been living accommodation for 1 or 2 of the workers. This will be a very large bathroom. It will feature a walk-in shower, a roll-top bath, and a toilet and wash basin. What is very interesting in this room is the floor. The slightly raised terracotta tiles that you can see to your left is the original floor from the 1800s that was here when we bought the chateau. As we are putting underfloor heating into this bathroom, we started taking these old tiles up. Imagine our surprise when underneath, in front of the fireplace, we found a much older flagstone floor. This floor most likely dates to at least the 1500s. I suspect that this part of the chateau, the west wing, could date back to the 1300s and 1400s. It could even be part of the original chateau from the 1200s. As we walk back to the main part of the chateau, there is another interesting feature that we uncovered. We had removed the terracotta floor tiles and were digging out the earth in preparation for putting down a new concrete floor. It is here that we have found what appears to be the foundations of a very old wall. It is at a much lower level than anything else we have found in the chateau. We don't have any idea as to what it is, but it must be very old. We will preserve this feature by boxing it in and covering it with a glass top. In this way, it will be visible to anyone staying in this room. We are now entering the room that was used as a kitchen by the last owners of the chateau. You can see that we are using it as somewhere to store our new coving. Once renovated, this room will continue as a kitchen and laundry room. Some of the old plaster has already been removed, revealing the original stonework, which we will keep. There is a lovely oak beam ceiling, which is in need of a lot of renovation, but we're going to keep this ceiling. This small room here is right at the very back of the chateau, and this will be the utility room. We are now going to walk through to the original kitchens of the chateau. But first, let's have a quick refresher on the plans to see just where we are. We are now in the original kitchens for the chateau, most likely dating right back to the 1200s. As you can see from these photographs, this room looked very different when we first bought the chateau. This part of the chateau is very nearly finished. You can see that we've removed the old plaster from 3 of the walls and returned them to the original stone finish. The beautiful ancient oak doors have all been cleaned and re-waxed, leaving them looking absolutely stunning. On the back wall you can see the fireplace, and to the left of it there is an opening where the bread oven was. The actual bread oven was built onto the back of the chateau, but this was demolished sometime in the 1800s. The fireplace is not the original fireplace. That one would have been much bigger. This cupboard is really interesting. The door is extremely old, and the shelves themselves are actually built into the stonework, confirming that it has been here for a very long time. The far right-hand corner of this room is the one area that we still have to finish. The original stone flooring in this corner was removed in the late 1800s. We will replace it with a very similar stone flooring. The tall door in the very corner of the room is also a 19th century addition. This will be removed and replaced with a beautiful studded oak door that is certainly 400 or 500 years old. This is a very interesting section of the wall. The little alcove to the left of the window was originally a door, and the window itself is a much later addition, put in when the door was removed. We will use this room as a banqueting hall and breakfast room. We have several extremely old refectory tables and oak chairs with which we will furnish this room. Can you imagine a banquet in here with the candles and open fire roaring? Let's now take a look at this amazing old oak door. It is certainly 400 to 500 years old and could date back to the very origins of this chateau in the 1200s. I absolutely love this old room and all of its history, and I can't wait to entertain our guests in here. Let's now move from the old kitchens into what will become the reception area, and we'll also take a look at one of the towers and what we are doing in there. It is a little bit messy in here, but I did warn you. This is a room that we haven't actually done anything with yet. This room has a very nice 19th century marble fireplace. It's one of the few surviving features from the chateau. Also, you will see on the floor the parts from a limestone fireplace. We bought this fireplace from another old house, and it's going to be fitted in one of the suites upstairs, as we will see. This room is directly off the main entrance hall, and it will become the reception for our guests. It will be decorated in a late 19th century style, lots of mahogany and dark red colours. Let's now have a look inside one of the towers at the back of the chateau. This tower dates back to the 1200s and would have been built for defensive purposes. We, on the other hand, will be using it for toilets. All of the plumbing has been installed. The room above here will be a bathroom, and all of the plumbing is installed for this too. The several doors and openings in this tower room are quite confusing. I suspect that where the window is was originally an arrow slit for archers to fire from. All of the drainage requirements for this zone of the chateau will exit under this window. You will see that we don't use copper pipes, but the very latest high-tech German pipes.
The downpipes are actually soundproofed, so you don't hear any water running down through them.
Everything is heat welded together. There are no metals or corrosive materials inside, so they should last for at least 100 years. Now we will move through into the Petite Salon, which is part of what we call the Old Hall. This is another part of the chateau that we haven't done anything to. As you see, we are storing some furniture in here at the moment. We will renovate the Petite Salon in a style from the early 1800s. It will be used as a bar and lounge area. Now let's leave the Petite Salon, walk through the reception and pass through into the entrance hall. The entrance hall has pretty much been finished. Just about everything has been decorated. It's all been rewired, ready for the light fittings. There are just a few small things to finish off and a little bit more painting. I particularly like the new banisters that we have fitted onto the stairs. Also, the beautiful late 19th century mosaic floor, which we are walking along into this hallway. Whilst renovating this area, we came across lots of amazing and very interesting features. Features that we're going to cover very shortly in a video all about the history of the chateau. You get a lovely feeling of light and space as you walk into the entrance hall from the hallway. The entrance hall and its story will be featured in our new video about the history of the chateau. This is one of the newest parts of the chateau. This hallway, on the other hand, is extremely old. We had one of these oak beams dendrodated to 1413. Whilst renovating this hallway, we found lots of really interesting features. Again, this is a subject that will be covered in the upcoming video about the history of the chateau. These double doors on the left, as well as this closed off feature, have some fascinating stories to tell all about the history of the chateau. The end of this hallway brings us to the bottom of the stone stairs and to the little door that leads out of the front tower. We are now at the far eastern end of the chateau. From here, we can enter into the Grand Salon. We enter the Grand Salon through a very old and absolutely gorgeous oak door. How beautiful is this door? The Grand Salon is in the oldest part of the chateau that dates to the 11 or 1200s. It is a part of the chateau that as yet we've done very little to. As you can see, it's a good sized room and has been perfect for use as a workshop area. It is hard to put a date on the wood panelling in this room. I suspect it's probably from the mid-1800s, but it could be as early as mid-1700s. Let's take a look at one of the very big problem areas that we had. What we are looking at here is one of the largest main supporting beams in the whole chateau. It would have sat to a depth of 1 metre into this wall. However, there was a very bad water leak above this beam and it was left unchecked for over 20 years. This resulted in the whole end of this beam rotting away. So instead of being supported by 1 metre of oak beam, it rotted away back to about 20 centimetres. We have repaired this by attaching some very strong steel plate to either side of the beam and running this 1 metre into the wall and then tying it in with more steel and securing it in place with some concrete. Each of the 4 corners of the Grand Salon have a tapestry depicting one of the 4 seasons. These decorated panels are made from silk. We plan to have them restored with an identical silk pattern.
Eventually, the Grand Salon will become the Chateau restaurant, restored in keeping with the current style of the room. Now we will take a look at the final part of the ground floor of the chateau, the middle wing of the chateau. This is an area of the chateau that has probably undergone the most changes over the centuries. It has low ceilings and quite small windows. We have sealed it off from the main body of the chateau, and it will become a totally self-contained 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with a large living, kitchen, dining area. We are entering the middle wing from the courtyard of the chateau, and immediately on our left we find a small room. This room we are converting into a bathroom for one of the bedrooms. As you will see, all of the plaster on the walls has been removed, and we have taken everything back to the original stonework. All of the plumbing and the electrical wiring in this bathroom has been completed. We are keeping the oak beams in the ceiling, but of course putting new plasterboard in between them. As we leave this bathroom, on the wall opposite there is a curious feature. We find the ghost of an old doorway, a doorway that has long since been closed off. I love this feature. To the left, in this old corridor, we are making a services area for the electrical fuse board for this zone and a lot of the plumbing pipes. As we turn to the right, we enter one of the bedrooms. All of the electrical wiring has been completed in this room. We've put down a new concrete floor, and on top of this we will put the terracotta tourmalet tiling. These are tiles that we have reclaimed from the chateau, and they date back to the 1600s. The whole style of this apartment will be 1600s, with stone walls, wooden panelling and tourmalet flooring. This particular room will be mostly wood panelled on the walls. We are keeping the wooden ceiling, just giving it a very good clean before a fresh coat of wax. We can now make our way through to the living, dining, kitchen area, which as you see is still very much a building site. All of the electrical wiring is now in place, and the kitchen has all the plumbing. The next job is to clear out all of the rubble and put down the concrete floor. The blocked up areas on the back wall used to lead through to the main body of the chateau. This back wall will be covered with wooden panelling. The stone wall that is now in front of us originally would have had a very big fireplace. This was removed at some point in the past, but we are going to recreate it. The large opening on the left will become the main entrance into this apartment. From here we can walk through to the second bedroom. This room is quite well advanced. All of the stonework has been cleaned and repointed, a new concrete floor has been put in, the windows and window frames have been renovated, and everything has been rewired. This little cubby hole is a curious feature. It had been blocked off and plastered over. We have no idea what it is, and sadly we didn't find anything of any value inside it. I think that the oak beam ceiling and the big stone window surrounds are wonderful features of this room. We have created a small ensuite shower room for this bathroom, and this completes our tour of the ground floor of the chateau.
I hope that you've enjoyed the tour around the ground floor, and you'll want to join me for part 2 when we look at the top floors of the chateau. At the end of this video there will be a link to click that will take you directly to part 2. There'll also be a subscribe button, and it really helps us if you subscribe to our video channel. It's free and you get updates. So yes, please do that for us. If you have enjoyed watching this video, why not click on the subscribe button that has just appeared? Also, check out our Patreon page in the link below. On there, you will find other ways in which you can help and support us in our project. It really does mean a great deal to us that you are interested in Chateau Clerbaud and preserving its wonderful history. Thank you.